I ain't want to gossip and you ain't heard this from me. Well, yes, fuck you did, especially this information. One of my followers, Enlightened, down in the comments below, y'all follow him. He broke down the symbolism of the Super Bowl, the numbers, Kansas City Chiefs and things like that. Even something that I didn't put together. One of the planes that went down recently was coming from Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, to Philadelphia. Who is in the Super Bowl? Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. Pay attention. All of this has symbolism, significance, and I might have to do a part two on this because it's going to get deep. I stay on the 33rd parallel. That plane that the military Black Hawk Chiefs. That's part of the tribe. Y'all pay attention. That was the first plane incident. It was supposed to land on what is it? The landing strip 33. No coincidence that this happened. Civilization and things that was created after Cahokia times, after the Choctaw area, back in 800 AD to 1600 AD. That is before Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. This shit ain't happen. They can give it up. Civilization began after the Cahokia incident and all that. Is when European settlers supposedly came over here, founded land that was already occupied by the Cahokia tribe. One thing that I found significant about Moundville, Alabama, which is part of the Cahokia tribe as well, is that it's still there to this day. But prior to it becoming a landmark, it was the Palisades was surrounding it. They had an area called the Palisades. Y'all, this shit is not by coincidence. Things that align, no reason. The Palisades burnt down, right? Pay attention. All of this shit makes sense. Being that the Palisades burnt down, Moundville being where civilization was prior to Christopher Columbus and them coming over here, this game is more significant than y'all know. Fighting for our land back. Fighting for our ancestors' land back. Moundville, Alabama, Cahokia, Illinois, and Cato. I think that's the name of the tribe that was only here when Christopher Columbus and them supposedly came. Holly Springs, Mississippi is very significant for this, and people don't know that that's on the 33rd parallel. I was raised there. Go do your research. Mississippi doesn't get hit that bad by storms and tornadoes and things like that, and I now know why. Mississippi is very, very protected because I believe that is where civilization continued after the tribes back in 850 AD to 1600 AD. After they demolished and they dwindled down, population was only 10,000 to 20,000. Started on Creeks. That was another one of the tribes named back in the day. Choctaws, Creeks. You got the Natchez, Chickasaw tribe, Hopi tribe, so many more tribes. A lot of people tend to get the 12 tribes confused with the 12 tribes of Israel. But TikTok, this is all for entertainment purposes only, all for educational purposes only. You can research these things, fact check them in libraries, things of this sort. Let's have a discussion down in the comments about what y'all think. Thank you and shout out to Enlighten for posting these symbolisms. And y'all go follow him and go look at the information that he's putting out. The Super Bowl and all this is more spiritual and significant than y'all know when it comes to fighting for the land. Holly Springs, Mississippi, somewhere that I was born and raised, as I stated, is on the 33rd parallel. Holly trees were significant there. Also, agriculture was significant there. As well as Christopher Columbus and them, where Holly Springs is 30-mile radius. What we know is 30 miles anyways, and a radius is what they've told us. This is where the Industrial Revolution, the railroad track starts in Marshall County, Mississippi, and the Chicago-Illinois Express goes all the way up to Chicago. It says that it goes to New Orleans, but it goes through cities like Memphis. No coincidence. They don't want to tell us and put everything down in history that we really need to know. Like, I'm more mad because the Mississippian culture and Mississippian era, they didn't teach us about and talk about. The Mississippi era was 800 common era. If that was in 800 and we in the 2024s, 2025s, come on now, do the math. Policemen and everything like that was created in Holly Springs, Mississippi, which is considered Marshall County, martial law. Marshals were somebody that has a lot of authority, right? Y'all, all this shit just, once you put 1 plus 1 and you come together, you realize what 2 really is. Supposedly. Yeah. Also, the wood that was used from the middle of the holly trees is what they said witches supposedly wrote on. All the gimmick, it all ties back into Hollywood. If you pay attention to what's going on in this Super Bowl game, is big and more spiritual than y'all realize. Fighting for our land, the Chiefs versus the Indians. First of all, the civilization from the Mississippi culture ended back in the 1300s, and the only tribes that were left were the Cahokia tribe, the Caddo tribe, and the Choctaw tribe. So, no significance that all these different places in Mississippi were named after Indian. Hurricane Landing. Hurricane Creek is what it was called before it was called Hurricane Landing. You have Sardis. That also is in the Bible. Let's state that was one of the first churches that God founded, right? That's right along the Mississippi River. Also, the Central Railroad from Chicago, aka the main line, went from south to north. As well as everything being on the 33rd parallel and all numbers and things, the 369 method that Enlightened talk about, that's power. So going to the Super Bowl, y'all are also giving away, and people are also going to give away a lot of their energy. They can manifest off of it. You have a lot of different souls, a lot of different spirits in one place. It can go left, it can go right at any moment, depending on if you're in dark or you're in light. Also, as well, the Underground Railroad supposedly too ran from where? Down south to up north to Pennsylvania, supposedly. So, that was the main way that people rode, passengers rode, as well as freight was being able to be passed back and forth, such as the Industrial Revolution. Like I said, the last time that happened was the year of the snake. So right now, our ancestors have woke up and they sent people back like me to get our land back. My great-great-granddaddy, Gainesville, Florida, we coming for it this hours. Significance of learning your lineage and your history really matters, because they rezoned and did the land so it doesn't look the same anymore. It's certain places that are still the same. It's no coincidence as well that national parks are considered landmarks. That was all Native American territory. So they came over here in 1492 because it wasn't but 10 to 20,000 people left in the indigenous people, Native American tribes, the original Mississippi culture. So the next section became Christopher Columbus' find of life, and what we know became the Native Americans being killed off by diseases, things like that. That was in the 1300s. In 1492, when Christopher Columbus and DeSoto Hernando lion-ass sailed the ocean blue, they came, and that was when Americas was created, North America anyways. So this gets real deep and go deeper than y'all know, and it links that everything connects. Just stay. So it may be another video because all this information I ain't looked over, and I just got some of my notes out and started reading back over it to refresh my memory and my mind about it. But everything has symbolism and everything is significant. They didn't want us to know where our history and know where things in civilization really was recreated, or shall I say the population increased. And that's how a lot of us are here. And our lineage goes back to Choctaw, Natchez, and Caddo. Hopi tribes and all that stuff, as I stated. I know so much information that a lot of y'all probably don't have any knowledge of, that you need to go do your research on these things. The Natchez Trace is the only highway that go or interstate that goes around the whole world, right? No coincidence. As well as it's supposedly the scenic route. And my sister said something to me the other night, and she was like, why do they call Route 66 Route 66? And it's a scenic route. I said, you just piece together another piece of the puzzle. If parallel 33 is the originator or the highest power or the highest degree, and it's very, very the 369 method, I'm gonna break it down because it goes with Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, I think, as far as the womb and being able to manifest and create power and energy and all that, as well as money. Mississippi is very significant, and Emmett Till is very significant in all of this too, because they sacrificed him for the good of the land or the publicity and to harvest his energy. Y'all don't believe in it. This shit happened for real. If you go around somebody and you in a good mood, but then when you get around them and you leave from around them, you drained, you tired, or you may be in a bad mood, somebody may be sucking on your energy, pulling on your energy, trying to tap into your soul. Y'all better do soul work. Y'all better do the inner work, because we've been at war. We've been in a gang war. We've been in a governmental war. We've been in a psychological war. We've been in a mental war. And it's not going to get better. We got to stick together and rise up, or some of y'all going to fall and be left behind. But pay attention to these symbolism and these signs, and go look up some of this stuff that I just spoke to y'all about. And let me know if I'm reaching or if this has any validity to it, which I have notes. I have a research paper showing that civilization was around as population started to increase. And after population started back to increase in the 1300s, it went from 10 to 20,000 to 30,000, went from 30,000 to 100,000. Then that's when they said that chiefdoms were no longer in chiefs. Population was increasing too much. So that's when policemen and law and things like that were introduced. As well as in, was it 1619 or 1819 that King James supposedly found Jamestown, Virginia. And that's when the first Civil War began. North versus the South. Because up north, slaves and things like that were free. You could work and make money. But down south,